Stephen Miller, the architect of Donald Trump's hardline immigration vision, is back in the White House. After spending years laying the groundwork with groups like America First Legal, he returned in 2025 with more power than ever, holding the dual, unconfirmed roles of White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor. His mission was clear: to orchestrate the most spectacular migration crackdown in history. But a year into Trump's second term, the story isn't one of shocking executive orders and overnight transformations. It's a tale of bureaucratic warfare, massive spending, and a system being pushed to its breaking point. The grand plan has collided with reality, and the fallout is creating a crisis that threatens the mastermind himself. For years, Stephen Miller has been the most relentless voice for an anti-immigration agenda in American politics. He was the driving force behind some of the most controversial policies of Trump's first term, from family separation to the travel ban. When Trump returned to the presidency, Miller was there to turn ideology into a governing doctrine. His influence is pervasive. He is seen not just as an advisor, but as the official who translates the president's impulses into policy. To understand the second-term immigration strategy, you have to look at the playbook, Project 2025. It's a sweeping, detailed plan to use every lever of government power to slash immigration, fast-track deportations, and involve local police in federal enforcement. The goal isn't just border control. It's a full transformation of the immigration system. However, the expected flood of executive orders never fully materialized. Instead, the administration's biggest move came in July 2025 with the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. This law became the financial engine of the crackdown, funneling over $170 billion into border security and enforcement. It includes massive funding for detention expansion and border infrastructure, turning policy into a large-scale operational system. At the same time, regulatory changes began tightening nearly every legal and humanitarian pathway. Refugee admissions were reduced to historic lows, family reunification programs were cut, and protections like temporary protected status faced termination for hundreds of thousands of people. Efforts to challenge birthright citizenship also emerged, triggering serious constitutional debates. At the border, enforcement intensified further. Policies forced asylum seekers to wait outside the U.S., while legal entry systems were scaled back or removed. Visa processing and asylum decisions slowed dramatically after security concerns, creating additional barriers. These combined actions formed a kind of bureaucratic wall, less visible than a physical one, but equally restrictive. The consequences are now becoming clear. Detention centers are reaching record capacity, with tens of thousands held at any given time. A large portion of detainees have no criminal record, raising concerns about the scale of enforcement and its impact. Businesses are also feeling the strain. Industries that depend on immigrant labor are reporting worker shortages, while constant policy changes are making long-term planning difficult. Employers say the uncertainty is affecting growth and stability. The human impact is significant. Migrants face dangerous conditions outside the U.S., while families inside the country deal with fear and uncertainty. Legal challenges are rapidly increasing, with more than 100 lawsuits filed, turning immigration into a major legal battlefield. At the center of all this is Stephen Miller. With expanded authority and resources, he has played a key role in shaping and executing these policies. But as the consequences grow more visible, his position is becoming more exposed. Political pressure is beginning to build. While some strongly support these policies, the economic, legal, and humanitarian effects are creating tension. Public backlash from enforcement incidents has intensified scrutiny, and leadership shifts within key departments suggest growing instability. This is the reality of Miller's vision: powerful, far-reaching, but increasingly controversial. He set out to reshape the immigration system, and in many ways, he has done so. But the system he helped build is now generating pressures that are difficult to manage. The question now isn't just whether the plan worked, it's whether its consequences will ultimately come back to threaten the man behind it.